Hi, true crime grapevine fans. It's me, Patti Lee. This is our 20th episode. Hi, Luna. We are up to our case 5. If you would, hit that thumbs up button, like and subscribe. I upload every Tuesday, so, I'll see you next Tuesday. That's my little joke. Okay, so, as I mentioned, if you watched any other clips from this episode, it is July 11th, and my air conditioning has broken. So I'm barely wearing any clothes. It's very warm. You can probably see me sweating. I'm trying to get in the cooler air from outside. Thank goodness it's still dropping to the 60s at night. Okay, so our case 5, sorry, once I've had, you might not know this, I pair a drink with every episode. And with this episode, I've paired St. Julian, I'm going to say this wrong, Michiscoto? Let me see what this says. What is Moscoto? This succulently sweet white wine is made with locally grown grapes from Lake Michigan shore appellation. Enjoy for everyday occasions. All right. Wow, this is an everyday occasion. Here's what it looks like. I like it because it had Michigan. Don't you love that? It's very cute. All right, and I'm not much of a drinker, which is weird that I started drinking on the interwebs, but such is my contrariness. I am nothing if not a contrarian. All right. I think I have to learn to do this beforehand. Okay, so here's our white wine from Michigan. Why from Michigan? Okay, so I pair a drink with every case. This is a case from the great state of Michigan. If you know, you know. So, this case, that's funny. There's a firefly, I believe. This case takes place right about here. In Oxford, Michigan, it's above. Detroit's about here. It's above Detroit. I'm down here. Okay, so let's pour one out. This is an update on the Crumbleys. This is the Crumbly parents. So Ethan Crumbly was a shooter at the Oxford High School. He seems to have had much mental distress and showed it. And yeah, but anyways, his parents bought him a gun and he took it to school and had it in his backpack. Nobody checked and he killed everybody. Not everybody, but students, friends. Yeah, his parents wanted him left at school because they want to take care of him. They had to ride horses and shit. That was not a very concise or maybe fair retelling. But anyways, the parents, yeah. Not only did they buy their kid a gun as a gift and then put it all over the internet as like, hey, we're going, then after the shooting, the dad said, oh, no, cops, I had that locked up. I don't know how he got it. Really? Really? Weird, because your wife was saying it was a gift and your son said it was a gift and seems like it was a gift. Ew, interesting. Sweet, but I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. Interesting. Like this case. Okay, so let's unpack this, shall we? This is not about Ethan, which has a lot to do with what the hearing I've missed this. It wasn't just last week. It's a little over a week ago. But the thing is, so it looks like they're not going to say Ethan's name because this is not about Ethan. This case is about his parents and the parents' responsibility. Unlike our previous case that I just discussed across Lake Michigan in the Chicago suburb of, well, it's not even a suburb, a near suburb of Highland Park, this case, that individual who shot at the 4th of July parade was already 22, even though he had problems when he was a young kid. And like the Crumblies, his parents, especially his father, helped him procure weapons when he was underage. This young man also was given a weapon underage. He was still underage. In fact, I think it was like 4 days later, after receiving the weapon for, I think it was Christmas, an early Christmas present. I could be wrong on that. But anyways, yeah, he took it to school. It was in his backpack. Nobody knew he had it. But he was making very disturbing writings on a test instead of like a test preparation. Instead, he was like drawing things about guns shooting, about people dying, and then he scratched some of it out, but the teacher did take pictures before he scratched it out. The administration called in his parents. They showed it to him. The parents were like, yeah, I believe he's on an IEP. So they're like, no, you have to keep him at school because legally you have to. And we're not taking him home even though you say we have to give him help within 48 hours. We'll deal with it later. You deal with it now. Goodbye. Now, unfortunately, the school didn't look in the backpack. I'm not sure why, because legally they're allowed to search anybody because underage children on school property do not have an expectation of privacy for their lockers or their backpacks. But nobody checked it. Nobody knew. The parents didn't say, oh, and by the way, we just bought him a gun 4 days ago. You know, the ammunition that a couple weeks ago he got in trouble for looking up on the internet that you called us about? Yeah, well, we went ahead and bought him that gun. Because while he was looking up ammunition, and he got in trouble because they could see that, his teacher had called. I don't know how they could trace what he was looking up, if she saw his phone or if somehow they could see it through the administration's access to the web because he was on the school's network. But they said like he's looking up ammunition, and they didn't say, oh, that's weird because he bought a gun, I wonder why. No, nobody mentioned any of that to the administration. So basically, the administration is in the dark. They know this kid is obsessed with guns and gun imagery and violence imagery, but they had no information from the parents that they had purchased recently a gun for the child. So they would have no idea it was in his backpack. And it was an understandable error, because if you call parents in and you're talking about gun imagery and blah, 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 you would assume they would say, oh my gosh, well, we do have a gun. At least even saying, oh, we just bought one for the house, or my husband just bought one. Anything that would have clued them into, oh, we better search him. But nobody said boo. And the school, I mean, Oxford is a small community, and even though Oakland County, as we will talk about, is huge, that community specifically itself isn't huge. And so the school, they just didn't think of it. I don't know. It's an unfortunate oversight, like more than unfortunate for the people who died. Anyways, no, he had a gun in the backpack, and they sent him back to class with his backpack, and he took it out and proceeded to kill people in his school. But that's Ethan Crumbley. What we're talking about today is his parents. So after that happened, not only did his dad sort of fudge the truth with the officers saying that, you know, oh yeah, it's my gun, and he must have got into it. We had it locked up, which was, I think, BS because of all the social media documentation that it was a gift to him. Then they contacted their lawyers, and they were going to come in, but then they ran. And they hid in a friend's art studio in Detroit, and it looked like they were trying to get, if you know anything about, so Detroit's about here, in the mitten, down here actually. Okay, so they're about here, Detroit's about here, and they were trying to get over to here, which is Canada. That's what it looked like anyways, that they were trying to get over the Windsor Bridge. I mean, even if they got over the river, it's very, Canada is very close to Detroit. So the fact that they ran, again, now we talked in the previous case, running doesn't mean you're guilty, it just means you're scared, right? That you think you're going to get caught. So they ran, they hid, there was a manhunt, using all sorts of technology. Hello, geofencing, Google that shit. Hashtag Google that shit. Understand geofencing, please. I think Colin Strickland understood geofencing. That's why his phone was not on. But understand geofencing. They found them. They located them where they were hiding. They had like a number of burner phones. They were not helping themselves out. I mean, they looked guilty AF. And they had said they were coming in, and they didn't. Unlike like Caitlin Armstrong, who just ran, and she ran when she wasn't at first under warrant. These people knew that they were in trouble. They knew that they had to come in. They told their lawyers they were coming in, and then they ran. Not good for you. So now they're sitting in jail. The rules. Okay, let's get down to what the hearing said. Okay. The judge is, so this was like a pre-trial hearing. What are they allowing in? What are they not allowing in? So number one, both sides were making statements to the media, and they each complained against each other. So the judge said, no one talks to the media. You will only talk in court and in filings. So they're still allowed, like the court hearings, this hearing was made public. So it's not like she's saying everything's sealed, everything's quiet. No, these are grown-ups, but she is saying to each side, prosecution and defense, you will not be talking to the press. Anything you have to say, you will say to me. You will say in the court of law, you will say in the court, or you will say in written filings to the court. So it's like a gag order of sorts. The judge is allowing in statements regarding the parents' treatment of Ethan's problems. She is allowing in statements about the time spent on other things other than their son, like the horses. She is ruling out anything having to do with infidelity or the parents' use of substances or how messy the house was, unless it can be tied directly to the crime. She is not allowing in stuff about how many video games he played, like most teenage boys, like my teenage son. They play these games. Now, I tried to keep my kid playing historic games, like questing games that were set in the times before there were guns. That was my attempt. But, you know, it's very hard to keep kids not playing Doom, not playing, what's that war game they all like to play? I mean, it's pervasive in our society, unfortunately. I think, as a child development specialist, I think it's unfortunate that we're not, I mean, computer games, yes, questing, yes, but, like, encouraging and practicing, because play is practice, people. Play is practice. So, we know a lot of people play these games, these shooting games, and hardly anybody ever acts it out, but it doesn't help when people do. That is not going to be allowed in, though, because it's too pervasive in society, and that's prejudicial. The Instagram posts are out. Ethan's Instagram posts are out, unless it can be shown how it ties directly to the crime. And the phone history is out. Again, Ethan's phone history is out, unless it can be shown that it's somehow tied through the parent, like the parents knew. So if the parents know about Ethan's Instagrams, like if they liked it, commented it, if the parents know, showed that they know somehow about his texting, then it can come in. But otherwise, we're not just allowed to throw Ethan under the bus. Because he has his own trial, right? This isn't his trial. There was a bird, like apparently there was some animal mutilation type stuff in the jar. That is not going to be brought in unless it can be tied, again, to some knowledge shown that the parents knew about it and ignored that knowledge. Okay, so the court agreed that nobody's going to say his name because it's not his trial, and the defense said that they do plan. Okay, so this is weird. Not weird, but it just shows how much these parents don't give about their kid and are going to use him to help them. They're going to call him as a witness for them. Yeah. Like, what kid isn't going to stick up for his parents? I think that is BS. I think it's another form of abuse. Personally, that's just my opinion. As an educational psychologist type person, you know, who's taken as much education as you can about how to do things with kids, typically to make sure they're okay. I think that shows poor, poor, poor parenting skills. But these people haven't shown anything else. So, of course they would want to call him regardless. Let me see what else I wrote on the back here about this whole thing. And that was it. So, so that little hearing, basically, that's what's in, that's what's out. And October 24th. Yep, October 24th is when this is supposed to start. Now, people are saying, the defense says, oh, no, that's not enough time. We need more time. So apparently there's some strategy. The prosecution wants the parents' case to take place before Ethan's case takes place. And the defense wants Ethan's case to go first because if Ethan, how does this go? If Ethan is found to be solely guilty, whatever, they can't blame the parents. And that somehow buffers them. I don't know. Again, nice people, right? I don't know what to say. We have screwed up individuals raising children, and surprisingly, the screwed up individuals don't do a good job. And when you ignore children, they don't do well. When, especially, they're learning disabled, or they're other special needs, or they're somehow different and being bullied. If you just decide that that makes you, as the parent, feel uncomfortable yourself and you'd rather ignore that, because why go through that pain? You've already been a teenager. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Unfortunately. As a parent, guess what? As a parent, you're signing up to go through toddlerhood, preschool, grade school, middle school, and high school again. With your kid, for as many kids as you have. And that can be awful, depending on if your kid fits in or not, if your kid has any problems or not. You go through that and help them navigate it. That's the deal, folks. When you have a kid, that's the deal. You're signing up for reliving that stuff. Not yourself, because actually that would be easier. No, you sign up for watching from the sidelines like a soccer game. Like, you can't play yourself. You've got to just sort of be quiet and watch and like later on talk to them and do the best you can. That's what it is. That's parenthood, and it is tough. It's tough emotionally. It's tough socially. It reminds you of all the things that happen to you. It's not easy. So the losers, in my opinion, the weak, the lazy, the abdicators, the creators of monsters in our society just don't. They don't. They go, no, I'd rather not. I'm an adult. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to deal. Now, that happens, and it's horrible. But here's the thing. But then to go ahead and provide that child that you're not interested in with a deadly weapon. There we go. That, I believe, steps over some line in the sand of what we expect from our community members. You have a child? That's great. Apparently now, since the whole SCOTUS decision, every child that's conceived potentially is going to be forced to be born no matter what, no matter if somebody wants them or not. Yeah, Charles Manson wasn't wanted. Ted Bundy wasn't wanted by his mom. But, you know, it was against the law back then to have an abortion. I'm just saying, even when people want their kids, it's rough going, people. So expect more of Crumblyville, because that's where we're headed. Because people who don't want kids shouldn't have kids. But by the way, the bad, selfish people don't give up their kids for adoption. No. It's a fun little toy until it starts to say, I hate you at about 3 or 4. And then, well, ask Adam Montgomery what happens. I digress. It's the heat. Oh my God. It really is the heat. Can you tell? I am so hot, and not in the way in my 20s, people. Not. Whew. Okay. Huh. Here's to the Crumblies. You're going to need it, people. I would not make it on any jury with any bad parent providing weapons. I just couldn't. Not me. That said, the defense immediately moved to have the trial moved to a different district for, a different venue. Now listen, they are in Oakland County, which is the second, after Detroit's county seat, Wayne County. It is the second largest county. It is pretty diverse from Michigan. No, they want it moved to like one of those small counties, which a bunch of white rednecks. No offense. Sorry, Michigan. Love you, Michigan. I do. It's pure Michigan. We do. And I love all the people up there. But it is kind of rednecky, and it is kind of like very white and kind of crazy, and there's some pockets that, yeah, that's where they want the trial moved, where people believe like that guns are more of your right than, any right to what happens in your uterus. Just saying. So, there. How many subscribers did I just lose? Probably a few. Good to know now, though, right? Right? It's like dating. Good to know early, before you get too invested in me, and then you go, oh, she's a libtard. I am. Sorry. Very educated. I will provide you. Like I said, though, I think I'm pretty middle of the road with a lot of things, but middle of the road seems to be like weird radical liberal nowadays. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I just like democracy as stated in the Constitution. That's just me, though. All right. So, parents, know you're in for the long haul. Please, especially with sons, don't buy them weapons when they're troubled and you're tired of them and you'd rather ride your horses. That's not the gift to get. Not on the giving gift list. Martha Stewart would not say. In fact, Oprah would not. It would not be one of her favorite things to give to a troubled youth. I mean, what Ethan needed was therapy. Yes, a big brother, perhaps. I don't know. Not a big gun. Just my opinion. Just my speculation that they caused it. Anyway, so Oakland County does have 1,260,000 people, and it's growing. So, yeah, it's got 13.5% African American people. They've got a pretty good pool to draw from. It's not going to be all of one kind of people, which I think the defense kind of wanted. More people that would understand, like, not their fault, independent America. No. So anyways, love y'all, and I'm fixing to do my next case, which will be number 6. If you'd like to subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you'd like to hear more of my opinions and speculations on the True Crime Grapevine. All right. Anyways, it's just my opinion. Who cares, right? Who am I? Nobody. And if you're nobody too, I'd appreciate you hitting that like button. All right. We'll hear more about the Crumblies closer to October, and I'm sure there'll be filings before then. We'll have in lemonade, or as Emily D. Baker says, in lemonade hearings and motions. So, bye.